All right, we are back, everyone. I think we're gonna watch um Brendan and Lucas down there. Haven't had Lucas on in forever. And Brendan, who just recently completed Murktide. So I'm kind of excited to watch him play it a little bit. And we get to see these dope SpongeBob sleeves. It's his fault, as in it's Lucas's fault? I 100% agree. Start the round timer. And we're underway. Murktide cringe. What's up, Ryan? Murktide is cringe. I don't know what Lucas is on. I'm gonna tell them to move their playmats down like a half inch. 1 second. All right. Hopefully that looks a little better. So I think Lucas is on some kind of Scapeshift deck. I don't know if it's Bring to Light Scapeshift. It plays Dryads and like bendings and stuff, so I'm gonna assume it's Bring to Light Scapeshift. And I think he used to play that. Brendan's going to cast a turn 1, consider, and bend that iteration on Lucas's instep. Looks like Lucas is on the play. Turn 1 Valakut, followed by a fetch land for Lucas. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Wow.
Lucas is going to get a Catria Triumph, right?
This doesn't have relevance to our match, but it does have relevance to the table out there. John just goes, "What am I doing?" And then, because apparently John like kept his hand, but then just picked up his deck and started shuffling his hand into his deck, and he just goes,
Guess that's a mulligan.
and Jordan goes, "Guess you're going to 6." It was just like, he's like, that hand was nuts, and I just like picked it up and put it back in my deck.
Wow. So Lucas actually had a possible turn 3 Dryad, I think. I think he had Dryad in his hand, but just trying to be patient here and not cast it. Brendan gonna consider and fire off a bolt. I like it. Get aggressive. Gonna untap, cast iteration.
Yeah, this right here is where you'll see Lucas play the Dryad.
Right.
Just playing around like the fact that Murktide players a lot of times when they have an expressive iteration will just instantly fire it off to like get value is like kind of what he was hoping to see.
Brendan might have been trying to hit land there and might have missed it.
Especially in that regard. Brendan with 2 counter spells in the hand, I'm surprised didn't just like pass.
I mean,
well, you got Borrower, you got Spell Pierce, you got
you're gonna fall behind. If he had Spell Pierce too, I could see him just wanting to go for iteration there, but that's tough. I mean, you got to hit your land drops, and he cast 2 considers and been 2 good spells trying to find land and just didn't get there.
Yeah, I guess, and if that's the case, you're almost guaranteed.
Yeah,
like
so
you would feel as though you're almost guaranteed.
That's 7 cards plus like 3 more cards off of just draw steps, and he didn't find another land. So unless he started with a 1-lander, but there's Dryad.
Yeah, that's actually the plot twist. It was only a 1-lander from the beginning.
There's Dryad from Lucas, and he's got 2 Valakuts.
Not only does he have 2 Valakuts, and Dryad's pretty close to dying to like an unholy heat, but Lucas has 3 prismatic endings in hand.
Now.
This is definitely the old style Bring to Light that Lucas had from like April of last year. I think it's the last time he said he played.
Yeah.
Which means he doesn't have ley line binding. But he is playing Baby Teferi.
So he just find land. See if Brendan knows the interaction here of he doesn't have to take 6 if he just... Oh, no, I guess not. Or maybe he doesn't want to, but I was going to say he doesn't just die if he... Okay, he could have bounced before he took 6 there. I'll let him know that after the match. He might genuinely not know that interaction.
He's taking 6, and now he's taking 6 again. He was only guaranteed 6 once. Because Lucas could have, in theory...
Because he could have fetched.
Could have fetched in response.
So I have Brendan down to 9... Or 6, sorry.
I think... I'm trying to remember how many mountains Lucas is on. I want to say he's on 11. It could be less than that. I don't remember what the land count was for them, but I know Lucas at one point was playing 4 Valakuts in general.
So Brendan plays Ragavan, and he does have Counterspell. He's going to have to let this go because he's just dead to Dryad plus land drop if not.
And he knows about the Dryad too, so like...
Yeah.
Lucas just passing.
Play another Rag. And pass.
Oh, there's the Teferi that has to be countered, and then Dryad land, he dies.
Yeah, this Teferi, as long as Lucas has a land, this pretty much seals the deal.
And he has a Steam Vents in hand. So Lucas just being incredibly passive, just allowing to not walk his card into a counterspell, which you get that information from the fact that Brennan missed a land drop. So you know every card in Brennan's hand's a spell that was good enough to keep on 2 lands. So he basically probably knew that he had a counterspell, plus he bend one earlier.
Okay, so this is smart. Okay. Smart by Lucas. So Lucas is not paying the 2 here, saying you don't have a 1-mana way to counter Dryad, so I can just play Dryad here, play the... Teferi did his job of getting the counterspell out of Brendan's hand, and that's going to do it.
So, other cool thing that Lucas just did, that's actually kind of a good play there too, is he shocks in his land, because if Brendan's response there is to Unholy, I don't know if he had Delirium, but that's about the only way you're going to kill a Dryad in that spot.
Yeah.
His response, say Unholy Heat that, Lucas can float a white on his Steam Vents to make the mana for his Prismatic ending. To still deal with it.
To still deal with
the Ragavan.
Yeah.
So that's like a little small thing from just like kind of...
Dryad gives it any color.
So I can probably bet that half the people cannot reach Waddell's head.
Yeah, Josh Waddell.
I would almost bet half the people actually can't reach him.
Yeah, that's a big dude. How tall is he? Like?
Oh, he's tall.
I have dibs on TJ. Ham versus TJ boxing. Dude,
if that's the outcome, for sure, where I'm in.
All right, Brendan, turn 1, Misty. On the play this time. You're gonna fetch on instep. Brendan got that's pretty tough variance when you go. Unless it was a 1-lander, then it's like, okay, that could happen. But if it was a 2-lander and he went consider iteration and didn't hit land, like that's tough. But we'll see. Maybe he runs hot this time.
You know who didn't miss a land drop? At least not on purpose. Lucas.
I was gonna say Ryan Hayes when he played Murktide last time. But... All right, Brendan with DRC, maybe Spell Pierce backup. Maybe. He's got 1 mana there. Oh no, he goes shields down. Just untap, Brendan. Looks like he's not gonna get punished. Who's Ryan Hayes? Ryan Hayes won our last 2K 2-slot RCQ with Murktide. He's Ryan H39 in chat.
He's my hero.
He's currently leading. He's currently at the top of the leaderboard in our Apex Gaming Invitational Series. He's cracked. You're bad.
Didn't you ever talk about my hero like that again?
Leaderboard update? Dude, ask TJ. Ask TJ how that's going. Here's Blood Moon. That's pretty brutal. Lucas better have a way to deal with that.
We got fetch basic forest with a Besagio in hand. We're fine.
Yeah, he has Mountain in hand too. Well, never mind. Never mind. I immediately was like, wait, never mind. It doesn't matter.
Nothing like a basic mountain until a blood moon. Baby.
Tonight's the night. Sitting across the table from him? Oh.
Nah, I don't believe you. My hero eats alone.
Sin picks, or it didn't happen. That is an enchantment in the yard for DRC. For Delirium. Hold, please. Oh, God, where are you sending this? There's a basic island in Lucas's hand, which is now irrelevant since Blood Moon's dead, but Brendan is going to get a Steam Vents and shock it in. He's at 16 now.
Lucas is also at 16.
Lucas is also at 16. Does camera work? Yeah, not bad. Lucas, the devilishly handsome.
Oh no, he's wearing an Ohio State shirt. He's going to fumble the bag at the end of the game.
Oh no. Meme chat and Discord. All right, I'll look. Two good-looking fellas. Look at that. I don't think I have it set up to be able to show that on stream though. Sorry. All right, Brendan. Oh, that's not Brendan.
That one's not good.
Brendan's on the far end there. If you want to see.
Looks like Bobo's in the tank. Kind of interested what their board state looks like.
Yeah. All right, Brendan's gonna exile a Ragavan off of that iteration. Let's see if he wants to cast it. Gonna play Islet first and then cast it. See if Lucas has ways to deal here.
It's Fairy and Endurance. I think it's the only actual spells in Lucas's hand. Two Fairies, Endurance, and Lands.
Brendan's sitting on at least one counter spell. Not sure how many. Is that a bobble for draw? I didn't quite catch it. I think it's at least two counter spells. It's those Mystical Archives ones. Pretty sure. Ragavan connects. Gets a gets a treasure token. Bobble second main phase. Basic island. Go ahead and bobble now. Endurance on instep.
This is really only here to force out a counterspell.
Most likely. And it will.
And just hope that that's the only one Brendan had in hand.
Right.
Because it'll probably be at the Fairy Jam this turn.
Brendan, nope, misses trigger. Oh, there. It's FNM. We'll let that one slide. That was close. Brendan, I don't think he's ever really cast Mishra's Bobble before. So we'll give him a pass. At least,
nah, dude.
At least
well, I did Bobble the first time. Nobody let it slide to me. I got yelled at. I see him. They're like, you missed two of them. I'm like, yeah, I've never done it before. Leave me alone.
Yeah, Bobble's a tough one, especially if extra stuff happens. Like, it's easy if you just go, all right, Bobble you, crack it, pass, draw on your upkeep. But if it's like Bobble you and it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna cast an Endurance. It's like, well, I'm gonna tank. I'm gonna cast a counter spell. And then you're like, all right, now go. Then you have to remember it. Pass to your upkeep. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Sometimes people will just draw pretty quickly, and then it's kind of up to a judge to like diffuse if they gave you enough time to do it or not. Like,
So look at some back-to-back draws found. Some pretty good cards. Found a Dryad. He has a Teferi in hand, which is going to jam, but he also found an Expressive Iteration, which this tap here doesn't leave that up without playing a land first.
yeah, he would have needed to not tap the mountain, right?
Yeah, you'd want to tap like
The Temple Garden.
Temple Garden
But
if you wanted to fire off it.
A hard cast Subtlety in response to this Teferi. This sort of Subtlety is really strong, I think, when you can hard cast it. Lucas is tanking. I'm not sure if he has interaction or if he's just thinking about because Subtlety is top or bottom, right?
Yeah.
So he's just tanking on if he wants that on top or the bottom. He's gonna go with top. And cast another one. Ooh, Brent has a spell pierce. That's tough. Oh, he had 2 treasures anyways. He had like a lot of interaction up, I guess. But Lucas is going to be very far behind now. Brennan fully has the tempo here and extra mana, and he's going to hit a Teferi. Thanks to Lucas putting it on top there. Lucas wasn't quite counting on that, I don't think. Tap a treasure for white. Tap 2 islands and cast that Teferi for Brendan. Now Lucas is not going to be able to interact at instant speed at all.
Which shuts off Bring the Light, by the way. So
Yeah,
Lucas can't just land, Bring the Light, win.
Yeah, Lucas even does not have the out anymore of just land, Bring the Light, get Scapeshift and get you. He can still cast Bring the Light. He can't cast a spell off of it. Yeah, Grug, that's probably what we mean by you can't really Bring to Light. Someone ban Grug.
You're lucky I'm not over there. I would have timed him out.
Four card iteration. Did he fix it? Sorry. It's alright.
Lucas actually hasn't played Magic since April of last year.
Alright, Brendan has counter spell. The mistake was allegedly Lucas iteration and looked at 4 cards and then like put one back, but I didn't really see what happened. All right, Lucas, turn 1 Grazer.
Dude, the Grazer without a land in play. What's going on here?
All right, so we're shortcutting here. He's gonna get a
Breeding Pool, probably.
Yeah,
Stomping
some
Ground,
kind
maybe.
Of a green land here. It is a breeding pool, and then he puts in the Sacred Foundry tap from his hand. Burn him at the stake. Yeah. All right, so Brendan is bobbling himself and then shuffling with Scalding Turn.
Oh, Lucas just has Scapeshift in hand. Nice. And there's a Valakut. We can Ren pick up our land. Maybe. If it doesn't get Spell Pierce, of course.
Rin. He's got the Pierce. Gross. Play Valakut tapped. Lucas with basic forest pass. Does have Scapeshift in hand. I think Lucas' hand is mountain, Scapeshift, prismatic ending.
Yep.
Brendan misses his land and passes.
What about a bring the light though?
That would be pretty tough.
What about a bring the light that has to walk into 2 open counter spells, but you have to do something because you're way down on cards?
Is just gonna slam it.
Oh no, Brennan, rookie mistake, kiddo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anything that's uncounterable that you're scared of there. It's usually like verdict is the case where that matters, but obviously Brendan doesn't have any creatures.
There, it's most likely grabbing a Valky, probably.
Right. So you normally just wait and counter whatever the Bring to Light is going to get, but all right, plays a rag, and that rag is not doing anything with that grazer.
It ain't doing anything for a while.
It's not doing anything. Look at that rag.
Dude. Rag just gets bodied by a Boreal Grazer.
Just. What's up, Corrupted Mind?
Not even close.
Not that.
Lucas plays Triumph, casts Scapeshift.
Yeah. Brendan does have Counterspell. Iteration is good find.
What?
Gets an Unholy Heat. Gonna deal with one of the Grazers, most likely.
You almost have to feel good if your Grazers eat Unholy Heats.
2 Unholy Heats on the Grazers. Finds an iteration, but he can't cast it this turn. Oh, he does have a land, so he might just cast it anyways. Nope. Gonna hold up 2 mana. Do you have another counter spell?
He's absorbed the 2 that he used to have, and I don't think he's drawn one since. So, cycle.
In a competitive sense, Brendan couldn't do what he just did. What did he do?
He decided which one he was exiling and put a card in his hand, and then it's kind of the situation where like once the card hits your hand, you're like cannot potentially move it. But also he swapped the card in his hand with the one that he had in exile, which is like,
oh, gotcha.
it's like, even though technically most people resolve it wrong, I think anyway, because the way Expressive Iteration's read, like most people pick their exile card first, but I'm pretty sure that's not what gets picked first in Expressive Iteration. But either way, once a card touches the hand, you cannot pick it up.
We make sure Rag's exiled. I think it was hit by Prismatic Ending, but he put it in his grave. Thanks.
Yeah, that's like the big thing. Is like,
yeah, it's
realistically, if you like put a card in exile, and most people are like, "Oh, I grabbed the wrong one from my hand," like at the 3, and put the other one down, and pick it back up. It's like, sure, most people are going to be like, whatever. But as soon as you put a card into like your pile of cards on your hand, you do not touch that pile again until you're done resolving.
Yeah, it's hand bottom exile is the way it's supposed to go. Everyone's going to cast that Ragavan off of the iteration. Has DRC as well. Has Subtlety. So also was another counterspell in the back or spell pierce? I'm not sure.
I won't lie, it looks like Treasure Cruise, and I know that can't be true.
John, don't talk unless you're talking into a mic. Taryn yells at me for it, so I'm yelling at you.
That's very true. All right, bring delight. See how many mountains Lucas has, but I'm pretty sure Brendan's just dead if he doesn't have a counter.
Well, didn't he already cast his one of Scapeshift and it get countered?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forget
that was
these-
like why I brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
That's why it was important that it was in hand. Because now Lucas is kind of going to have to feel obligated to fire it off. If he grabs Valky, it gets subtletied. So Lucas doesn't have a lot of great answers. This is probably technically your verdict answer.
Yeah, if he has verdict.
And you're just kind of like praying from there. But again, I'm not entirely sure how many mountains Lucas's list plays because it's a very old list. And a lot of times they played like just enough mountains to do it.
I do believe they played 9.
That's what I don't know if Lucas has changed it since then or like updated a little bit because he does have technically one of the newer, he has Proving Grounds. I think that's Proving Grounds.
Yeah, the
One of the new
Giant
triumphs. They should have been triumphs. We all know this.
Is going to get verdict though, but I think Brendan's pretty happy with that. Oh, I think he just drew a Murktide as well. So that's
I think that was actually what has been in his hand for a while.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't think he had one. Knew his hand, and he has subtlety here too. So anything like a Dryad or Omnath, it's just, or it's a fairy here, which would be very good. It's just not gonna get there. Yeah, Lucas just passed it back. Brendan gets in for 8. Bobble. That's an endurance. It's not the worst. That's gonna really pump the Murktide if he targets Brendan's grave, but
He's going to target his zone
oh yeah.
to put the Scapeshift back in.
For
Well,
sure.
also Brendan just has a subtlety.
It doesn't really matter, but like Lucas doesn't know that. Yeah.
Subtlety the endurance, and that's gonna do it. Good games.